What is up, everyone, and welcome in to your Celtic source. What an absolute domination by the Denver Nuggets in Game 7, beating the Los Angeles Clippers 120 to 101. And quite frankly, it wasn't even that close. The Clippers just fell apart towards the end of that, second half or first half, late in the first half, and you know, the Denver Nuggets pulled away and they never looked back. And it really started with early in the first quarter. Even the Los Angeles Clippers just you know they looked almost nervous. They were missing bunnies at the rim. They were you know lots of careless fouls, lots of stupid or even just lack of focus, and guys like Aaron Gordon getting open underneath the basket. um you know I think the Nuggets, they've been in the same situation for like 3 years now. They lost last year against the Timberwolves in Game 7, and this Clippers team, even though you got two vets on the team, really you got three or four vets, but two vets, one who has won the NBA Finals twice, first time he's been healthy for an entire playoff series, but still you're unable to get any sort of offense in this game. All right, I'm just going through the box score here after watching the game. Right, James Harden takes just 8 shots, 1 of 4, gets 7 points in the 35 minutes he played before sitting out from the second half of the fourth quarter. Kawhi Leonard, he was pretty good in the first half. Right, 22 points, 6 of 13, 2 of 4. Um, a lot of those points coming at the line, 8 of 9 from the free throw line. You get a little bit from Zubac, but other than that, you know, really sporadic points until obviously the bench came in and got some points late. But just the consistency from the Nuggets. 22 points from Eric Gordon. Nikola Jokic, right? Almost a triple double, 2 assists shy of a triple double. Only scored 16 points, but he's not needed because he was making plays for others. He was basically out there, as a distraction almost, allowing other guys to get involved. Jamal Murray, the shots that he had in the third quarter were ridiculous. Some of the fadeaway shots, falling to the ground afterwards, they weren't necessarily fouls, but just a ridiculous, you know, very low percentage shots that he was able to knock down. When it's going for you, it's going for you, right? Russell Westbrook, huge off the bench, right? 16 points, knocked down 2 of 4 from three. So just huge. And I don't know what's gonna happen with this Clippers team now that are they gonna break it up? You have James Harden, Kawhi Leonard. It's 2 years in a row they haven't been able to do much. Lost in the first round both years. Kawhi obviously was not healthy last year. But this year, they're coming to the end of their careers. Um, I think I don't know if one of them's a free agent or not, but and then as for the Nuggets, I think for some reason they found a way to almost turn their season around after firing their coach, after it seemed like they were going to struggle in the playoffs. They get through here in 7 games. They have a quick turnaround to play OKC. I'm not predicting it to be a very long series. I think OKC is going to win in 5 or 6. But when you see the Nuggets play like this, you know they wanted it more clearly than the Clippers. But I think they could give OKC a run for their money. I don't know. It's gonna have you're gonna have to outplay SGA and J Dub and other guys, Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. I mean, in order to get this. But as for this game, um, I really thought it was just the patience from Nikola Jokic, right? Not rushing things, knowing that he can wait for a screen to come and help him. He doesn't have to force it himself. and then just the lack of focus from the Clippers that allowed the Nuggets to get almost any type of shot they wanted. Um, I'm gonna keep this nice and short. Um, but like the Clippers, I actually had the Clippers winning this series, and I think I had them in six. I had them, but this was a tight match on paper, and it went 7 games for that reason. Um, but just that third quarter, outscoring the Clippers 35-19. Um, and then really in the second quarter as well, 37-21. So just two big middle quarters there that sealed the win. You look at uh, James Harden, right? He's had a history of not performing in the playoffs, right? He's performed at a elite level this entire playoffs, and then in Game 7 with everything on the line, he's unable to come through. And so, you continue to put his career in question. Is he a top 100 player all time? Is he a top 200 player all time? I don't know. He's definitely not 50. You know, he he's second right now, or second all time in 3-point shooting, but he doesn't have a finals win. Right, he lost to the Celtics when he was with the Sixers. Last year they lost first round. This year they lost first round. With the Nets, it didn't work. So just struggles in the playoffs. One of those guys that him, Chris Paul, you know, obviously of this time, this era. Trying to think of others that have struggled in the playoffs. Um, Russell Westbrook, those three guys. Obviously Russell Westbrook's moving on here, but like, still, those three guys have not found a way to get over the hump. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will have coverage throughout the NBA playoffs on different games, different matchups. Obviously, huge emphasis on Celtics Knicks round two. Follow me on social media so you don't miss out on any news, scores, highlights, all playoffs long. And until next time, go Celtics.